Hey guys, so I haven't done a vlog since the beginning of November, and it is now the middle of February, so it's been a while. Honestly, I didn't know if I was ever gonna do another one of these because, well, I started this channel to have an outlet to talk about how I was feeling when I was in the midst of going through this really just horrible situation. It was the end of this relationship that I was in the middle of, and I don't know, I think it's all about being comfortable enough to open myself up to people, which has always been a problem for me. Um, yeah, so I guess that's something that I have to work on. One of like 900 other things that I have to work on with myself. But anyway, it's Friday. It's 9:30 at night, and that's really sad that it's 9:30 on a Friday night and I'm already in my bedroom in my PJs. Criminal Minds on in the background, only bothering to look up at the screen when Spencer's on. That's my life, people. That's my rockin' Friday night. Um, as for what's been going on, I kind of feel like I am in the real life version of the movie Groundhog Day because I kind of feel like I'm living the same day over and over and over again. Um, so I get up in the morning far too early for any human being to have to get up. I go to work. I'm miserable for 8.5 hours. I come home. I have dinner and watch TV with Tom. I come upstairs and read for a little while, and I go to bed. And I get up the next day and do it all over again. It's like the same thing. It's just that's my day. That's how my day has been for the last like 3 months. And part of me is it's good to have a routine. I do well with a routine. And then other parts of me is this is it. I have my good days and I have my bad days. There are days when I'm fine, and then there are days when I'm still really sad, and I miss I miss I miss the good times that I had with the person that I now lovingly refer to as the asshole. Because looking back on it, um, there were a lot of really bad times um, when I was in that relationship. But there were good times, and as hard as it is for me to admit, when it was good, it was really good, and I was probably the happiest I've ever been. And that's hard to not have anymore, you know? Um, it's hard not to feel that way after feeling it for what was a very short amount of time, but still, it's like it's there. I just, I'll be doing things, and something will just make me remember, and it's hard. It's still hard for me to deal with it, and it's really difficult, especially because I don't really have anybody to talk to about it because, Tom, bless his heart, he never really understood why I was so upset when the whole thing ended to begin with. Um, but he's very pragmatic, and he's kind of, you know, he's, he's a great guy, and I've said this a million times. But deciding to take the chance and move in with Tom was the only good decision I made last year, and I mean that 1,000%. And he's been an amazing friend, and he's incredibly good to me, and I'm in I'm in such a good situation now compared to where I was, living wise last year at this time. But he doesn't understand. And even my best friend, I told her certain things, but she doesn't know the whole thing. She doesn't realize how how much it affected me, that whole thing ending and the way it ended, and the fact that I feel like I wasted an entire year on this guy, and I felt like such a fool. I felt so stupid. But yeah, I think maybe it would have been easier to deal with if I had somebody to talk to about it. But I have my good days and bad days, and yeah. So But for the record, that email that I got, that I talked about in my last video, that was the last I heard from him. I knew that I wasn't going to hear from him after that. I could just tell. And my spidey senses were correct. But yeah. So besides that, like I said, I feel like I'm living the same day over and over again. And also, I kind of have something, things are kind of off with my best friend because after everything I went through with Nick, I don't know if it's, I said his name. He who must not be named. I said his name. Fuck it. I'm not going to edit that out. I don't care. Anyway, after everything I went through with the asshole, maybe I'm just paranoid. But I believe that my best friend is kind of in a similar situation, although it's not a romantic relationship, it's a friendship that she has with this girl that I think is lying to her and misrepresenting herself. And see, my best friend and I were like, we've been best friends for 7 years, and you know, she's like my sister. She's not like my sister. She's closer to me than a sister, and she's been there for me. I mean, her and her husband, I think I've already said this before, but her and her husband dropped everything in their lives and flew out from California to be with me when my dad died. They just like took time off work, just stopped what they were doing, stopped their lives, flew across the country to be with me when my dad died. So I mean, that's the kind of person she is, and that's, you know, that's the kind of support that I get from her. So I love her to death. And she's very, very social. She's got friends everywhere. She's the party girl, you know, she was the sorority sister. She's, you know, the exact opposite of me. I'm very much like a homebody, and I have my friends, but I don't have like this ginormous circle of friends like she does. So, but somehow we click and we get each other, and, you know. But she became friends with this girl, and I don't think that she's telling her the truth. Just some of the stuff that my friend has told me just doesn't make sense. And my friend is just very, 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 excuse me, very, very trusting. And the one time I kind of like said, "Are you sure? You know, maybe she's not telling you everything." My friend kind of got upset with me, and that was the last of it. I didn't want to push her, but I still feel like this isn't gonna be a good situation. So I've, you know, I don't know, whatever. So there's that. That's been going on. Nothing else, really. My job still sucks. If anything, my job has actually started to suck even more over the last few months, mainly because the one person that I actually felt close to at my job, which was my immediate supervisor, kind of lost her mind and is pushing everyone away, and I think is doing everything she possibly can to, um, if not get herself fired, then get herself transferred out of where I work to another location. And she's got a lot of shit going on in her personal life, and I understand that. But you know, everybody that used to be her friend is not really her friend anymore because she has been rather, well, mean to a lot of people. In fact, I was having a really bad day, so she picked the wrong day to do it. But um, before I went on vacation, she was in the break room and she actually made a comment about me, and she didn't realize I was there. She didn't know I heard her, but I did. And then after, when she knew that I heard, she didn't even apologize to me. And it was extremely hurtful what she said. And I mean, extremely hurtful. I felt like I was back in high school. And yeah, so I mean, as if any kind of semblance of a friendship that we might have had before, you know, that definitely kind of toss that aside. And you know what I think it is? I think it's the fact that, like I said, I don't have very many close friends. So when I have a close friend or someone that I consider to be a close friend, and they kind of stomp all over my feelings, kind of just think that I'm sort of disposable, you know? If that doesn't sound, that probably sounds really stupid and childish, but I don't really know how else to describe it. But, it's happened to me before, people that I've been really close to that found it very, very easy to sort of walk away from the relationship. And that's part of the reason why I sort of shut myself down emotionally and don't let people in because I'm tired of getting hurt. I'm really tired of getting hurt because, with very few exceptions, every single relationship that I've ever had has ended up with me being hurt. And that is fucking depressing as hell. Yeah. Okay. Aren't you glad you asked me to do a vlog? I think that's enough for one night. Alright, so I'm gonna shut up. And thanks for watching, and we'll talk with you soon, people.